This right here is one of my most favorite cars I've ever built on BeamNG. And here's that same vehicle getting hooked up to a 22 foot long 5,000 pound trailer. And this right here is 47,000 pounds of water. Now putting all of this together, we're towing just over 50,000 pounds plus the weight of the car itself. And as you can see, this is towing it pretty good. This has a lot of torque, it's a bigger car, lots of weight helping pull it. I love pulling things in BeamNG, and one of my favorite things to do is make realistic cars like this Blazer right here and try and pull massive amounts of weight with it. What we'll be doing today is building a smart car that can pull that same amount of weight, and then we'll be bringing it into BeamNG and actually watching it do that. The only requirement in this video is one, it has to be a small car. That's subjective, but we're gonna choose one of the smallest ones that we can on automation. First thing I wanna do is lower down this wheelbase to right here. Egg in 1995 hatchback. That's how you know this is a small vehicle. Since this car is really small and we need to tow a lot of weight, I'd prefer to make everything as heavy as possible, meaning we're gonna make it a steel panel material, full ladder frame, steel, and I think what I wanna do is front longitudinal, but that might change to transverse in the future. We're gonna do solid axle leaf and probably solid axle leaf in the rear too. Yeah. That'll be good for all the load that we need. Next is the engine. And let's just call this the towing hero. There we go. For this particular build, I'm gonna have to make sure it fits in the engine bay, so we'll put this on 60-degree V6, I think is what we probably want. I know we're gonna have to change the entire size of the engine because I doubt any of this is gonna actually fit in the car. I want to make the bore super small, but I want to put the stroke as high as we can go, and that puts us around 4 liters. And how about we do dual overhead cams for, just do cast iron for now, cast iron, light cast, none. Let's actually change that to cast for both of these. We're going to want the compression to be boosted up quite a bit, probably at least 13. Cam and lifters are going to be the same, no VVT or VVL. For the RPM limit, I'm going to bring this down to like 5,500, and I'd actually like to lower this down a little bit more because I want really high torque at low RPM power. So we shouldn't need it to even get into the higher RPM. And then we're going to throw in a turbocharger and see what that can do for us. We won't go too crazy by adding 2 in, but 1's a bare minimum. Next, direct injection per cylinder with performance high. Tubular mid. I don't really want to put on a catalytic converter because it'll reduce airflow. However, it will increase weight. So how about we just try something a little bit in the middle. It has a lot of airflow, but it also weighs a bit. High flow 3-way. Reverse flow. Okay. So we have something very busted, but nonetheless, the engine is currently knocking, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually kind of good because it tells us that we're actually receiving a lot of our power early on. So we can lower down the RPM limit just a little bit, and maybe we can get rid of most of that knocking just by doing that. 4,500 is totally acceptable for what we're doing. And then to reduce the knocking furthermore, we can just lower the compression a little bit. 12.7 still super high. I know this engine is already starting to get pretty unrealistic. However, we're going to add VVT just to make it more unrealistic. The final thing I want to do is increase the boost limit of the turbo until it gets about 600 foot-pounds of torque. And it looks like that's going to do it. And now we'll just fine-tune everything until the engine's ready to go in the car. After tuning the rest of the engine, I went to go paint it, and this is the final product. All the information's at the bottom. You can pause it if you want to look at it, but the main thing is just look at how huge it is, and then it's going to have to go into a little tiny car, and the exhaust system is crazy with the 2 mufflers and the catalytic converter. The turbo's giant. I hope this fits in the car. It says it will, but it might look a little bit funky. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we're basing this around a smart car. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to copy it. None of the cars I do on this channel I'm going to be doing exact replicas of. It's more so as inspiration. And I thought a smart car was a pretty good inspiration. We're going to see what we can do. I like the lime green. It's eye-catchy. Oh my gosh. This looks like a freaking alien. Now, I have to admit, I'm sure there's a few of you guys right now watching this video wondering, Hero, why did you choose this color for your car? That looks terrible. And I could be truthful and say it's for the thumbnail, but instead I'm just going to tell you guys that I love the color of this car. As I think about what to do with the wheels, I realize I probably need to widen up the stance a ton so I can add in the bigger wheels. That way it can handle more load on the tires. And also I can stiffen up the suspension too. I just finished putting in all of the fixtures, and this is what it looks like. The little tow hitch on the back looks cool, and I also love the black rims. We successfully got this thing transferred into BeamNG. Before we go towing with it though, I want to drive it around just like a normal car and see what it can do. The gearing is really short, keep in mind, so although we have a lot of power, it's going to take a while to get to the point where we start going faster. Yeah. This thing has an insane amount of power, over 400 horsepower and 600 foot-pounds of torque. This thing should be able to pull it no problem, but I'm sure it will still be a little bit of a fight just because it's such a small car. Somehow it survived that. I really thought I'd have to reset that. Let's continue on. Now, one thing I noticed is since it's such a small car, it's having issues with like being zoomed out. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how long it takes to get to the full like 84 miles an hour, I think it is. It should go slow in the beginning, but then as the gearing starts to get further spread apart, it should go faster. And it looks like that is the case. I think that'll be really beneficial to us when it comes to towing. I don't want to waste your guys' time with trying to make it go off-road because I don't think it's going to do well doing that. But we will still finish with the race in the end that I do in every video. Before we get too crazy with the weight, I just have to see how it's going to do with a normal trailer, and that should give us a good gauge. Is it going to hold down the car much like I feel like it would, or not so much? Oh. What just happened? Oh man, it just crashed the game. Okay, well, I'll be back in a sec. Right when I went to pause the video, this is what happened. Did it like literally pull apart the map or what? Did I break the game? No, I mean, obviously I did, but I guess we'll just try that again. I'm not sure what happened the first time around, but it's working now. It's accelerating. Slowly, but surely. I don't think it's going to be able to get into 5th gear, will it? I think it's just the gears are so spread apart and it's going to lose so much of like the gear ratio it has going on once it shifts into 5th gear. So I think it's just going to hold on to 4. But 4 is perfect. 20 miles an hour I'm more than happy with. I'd say if it goes over 5 miles an hour pulling the 50,000 pounds, that would be an absolute win for us. Here's our water tank. Once I get this on the trailer, we're pulling just over 52,000 pounds plus the car weight, which I'm not sure how much it is, probably like a couple thousand, maybe less. I don't know if there's a better way to do this or not, but what I've been doing since I've started playing this game is I just lift what I want in the air. And then once it's in the air, I will then drive the trailer underneath with the car. There probably is a better way to do this. If there is, please do tell me in the comments. There we go. It worked. Surprisingly, wait. Oh, it's just barely keeping us on the ground, so that could be an issue. If we want to slide it up a little bit more, we can, but let's see how it goes for now. Okay. Doing a little bit of burnouts, but that's never hurt anyone. Yeah, we're accelerating, and I know if we move this up a little bit more, we'd be actually like touching more with the car. This is certainly working. It's slow, but it's working. I love how you can just hear the tires barely keeping contact with the ground. What I want to do now, though, is move it up a little bit more. That way it puts a little bit more weight on the back end of our car, so hopefully we can get it to go a little bit faster. The idea, at least with what I do, is that I want it to like already compress the suspension on the trailer, so that way when I let it go, it doesn't just drop like 48,000 pounds onto the 5,000 pound trailer and then just destroy it. There we go. That's a little bit more evenly on the trailer. Still tilting a little bit more on the right side, but I think this will be good enough. I hope it doesn't destroy any tires. I think it might have already. But let's see if we can get going with this now that it's a little bit more balanced. We're making a lot more traction with the road, which is nice. Without a doubt, we're moving this. I mean, we were moving it from a dead stop, so it's not like it needed momentum or anything to get going, but I do notice when it moves, it starts like shaking everything around on the trailer. Let's see if it can do a turn. I'll slowly slow down and come to a gradual stop. Then I'll turn my wheel all the way to the right to see if it can accelerate even while turning. Can it? Yeah, it can. I mean, it's doing burnouts the whole time, but it definitely can turn. The car's just going crazy though. It's because the load on the trailer, looks like it's bending the trailer a little bit. It's just like, it's shifting around so much that it's making it difficult for the car to actually carry all of it without like losing itself. Just like every video, we're gonna end today with a race. I don't think we're gonna win just because we have so much torque and not enough grip, and we also don't have the best brakes. However, we're still gonna give it our best shot, and the AI is just kind of to give us like competition in case we do have a car that's better for handling. I mainly just like this to get lap time. I know we're not gonna win, especially now that I see a Dodge Charger right next to me, but we can do our best and hope that it works. I don't know why we were in two-wheel high, by the way. We can do what we can do and hope that it works. And I don't think it's going to. I can't stay on this track. Like I said in my last video, I wish I would actually race with one of the cars that I've made in the past. That maybe one of my nicer cars. That way I could show you guys that I can actually drive in this game. You guys would probably think I never played this game before by watching these videos, but I mean, I'm not saying I'm a good race car driver, but I think I'm adequate enough to not spin out going 14 miles an hour. Surprisingly, I mean, we're far away, but we're not too overly far away from him. This shouldn't even be a close race. And I'm not saying that it's close. I'm just saying that I can still see him every once in a while. Yeah, we top out at 84 miles an hour. Otherwise, we could probably get up to like, what, 140, 150 going down here, but then we'd probably lose traction again. The tires aren't the best for this. We're also really heavy. It helps for towing, but not so much for racing. I'm actually happy I turned off all my ABS and traction control stuff. I think that helped us out. And also having it in four-wheel high was helping us in the beginning. I don't know why we were in two-wheel high or two-wheel low, whatever. Whatever we were in, I don't know. We had 3 options. Yeah. Oh, shit. Please don't lose a wheel. Okay. Little bit of damage towards our quarter panel and our bumper. I guess it went into our tail light a little bit too. And now we're unaligned. However, I think we can still do okay. If he crashes, we can still win. Oh man. This is an embarrassment. But hey, it can definitely tow more than that car. This is good for what it is. The thing is, with all of the videos where I play BeamNG, all of the cars I make, they all have like their own purpose, obviously. Like some of them are going to be for going fast. Some of them are going to be for towing. Others are just going to be funny and like silly stuff. I guess I would consider this that and towing. I don't know what my next video is going to be yet. I have like a whole Google document with ideas. You know, when you take a 2-year break from YouTube, you usually have some ideas for videos when you start up again. And I'm totally up for doing something a little bit different than BeamNG. I have a few other games in mind that I already have like ideas written down for that I also enjoy. 3 minutes, 5 seconds. No matter what car I do in the future, odds are I'm going to end it with the race, of course, just so we have a comparison in each video and you guys can go over the videos if you want just to see what car does the best. Anyways, if you guys found this video kind of cool, I'd appreciate it if you left me a like. Also, like 90-something% of you guys aren't subscribed to me, so I'd appreciate it if you did.